Jain, dear student of class 8, 10th. Today we are going to start chapter number 7, in which we will have to cover two units. First unit will cover three different kind of tales from different portion of India, from Goa, from Kurg and from Assam. And second unit will be a poem, the tree, right? So today, my dear students, first of all we will cover two portion of glimpses of India, that is the Baker from Goa and Kurg, right? The glimpses of India is a collection of different kinds of journey. Okay, so how they feel, how they experience when they reached at these places. So this is the description of all those about Goa, Kurg and Assam. So my dear students, today we will have to cover these two portions, first and second, a book from Goa and Kurg. So without making delay, let's get started, right? First of all, you can see a baker from Goa, and this is a pen portrait of a traditional Goan village baker who still has an important place in his society. That means pen portrait. So here pen portrait means pen portrait, right? So pen portrait means representation through a pen. Representation through pen means whenever a description is given of a place through pen, and a description of anything is written, then it will be considered as a pen portrait, right? So now let's start. Our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically about those good old Portuguese days, the Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. Those eaters of loaves might have vanished, but makers are still there. We still amongst us the mixers, the molders, and those who bake the loaves. Those old age old time tested furnaces still exist. The fire in the furnace has not yet been extinguished. The thud of the jingle, the traditional baker's bamboo, heralding his arrival in the morning, can still be heard in some places. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family professions. These bakers are even today known as Pader in Goa, right? So here we have heard the stories and thinking fondly of the past. So what they were thinking about, our elders always thinking about their olden days there, and that was their not even olden, that was even golden days also. So those days were Portuguese days, and the people from Portugal is considered as the Portuguese, right? And so they made bread, right? So they always think about their famous loaves of bread, and those who were the eaters of the loaves have been vanished right now, have been they cannot be seen right at this time, but makers are still there, right? And we still have amongst us the mixers, in which mixers, molders, and those who bake those loaves, they were the common people, and that was the age old. And there is still furnace means the place where the fire are burnt, right? Their furnaces are still exist. The fire in the furnaces is not been extinguished, that means the fire is continuously burning, right? And the thud and the jingle of the traditional baker's bamboo. Thud and jingle means it's a sound made by a bamboo, right? So when a bamboo is hardly striken on the ground, the sound created by that is considered as the thud. So the traditional baker's bamboo heralding his arrival. When a bamboo is stroking towards the ground, that was the sign of arrival of the bakers, right, in the morning. And it can be still heard in somewhere. Maybe the father is not alive, their fathers means their ancestors are not allowed, but the sons of those are always engaged in this profession, and now they are considered as the Pader, right? So during our childhood in Goa, the baker used to be our friend, companion, and our guide. He used to come at least twice a day, once when he set out in the morning on his selling round, and then again when he returned after emptying his huge basket. The jingling thud of his bamboo woke us up from sleep, and we ran to meet and greet him. Why was it so? Was it the love of the loaf? Not at all. The loaves were brought by some Pasquine and Bastine. The maid servant of the house we longed for were those bread bangles which we choose carefully. Sometimes it was sweet bread of special make. When we were child, when we were very little kid in Goa, The baker used to be our friend because at each and every morning he always came after making a jingling sound, making a third sound, and because of his third at jingle, we just wake up from our sleep and we ran to meet him. Why? It was not for the love of only love of loaf, not. It's a loaves were brought by some means it was coming from loaves to bake bread inside our houses, right? But what the maid servant of the house, we are waited for the bread bangles, the bread that is in the shape of bangles and it taste is sweet, right? Sometimes it was sweet bread for a special make. It was a tradition in Goa that whenever a ceremony is taking place, then a special kind of bread is ordered, and that special kind of bread taste is sweet, right? So the baker made his musical entry on the scene with the zang zang sound of his specially made bamboo staff. One hand supported the basket on his head and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. He would greet the lady of the house with the good morning and then places his basket on the vertical bamboo. We kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. But we would not give up. We would climb a bench on a parapet and peep into baskets somehow. I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves for the elders and the bangles for the children. Then we did not even care to brush our teeth or wash our mouths properly. And why should we? We would take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf from the toothbrush. And why was it necessary at all? The tiger never brushed his teeth. Hard tea could wash and clean up everything so nicely after all. So the baker always make a musical entry, means jang jang sounds was being produced and third sound was being produced, and in one hand he has carried his basket and in another hand is on the bamboo, and whenever he face any of the mother and father inside the house, he wished good morning. And after this we kid was always pushed by our maid or the parents, right? But we are not an easy person to give up, right? So we don't take it easy, we just tried. And what we tried for, we tried to arrive at the basket, and anyhow through the parapet, through the window, through the table, we just reached up to the basket. And why? Because loaves were delivered to the maid and bangles, circular bangles were for the kids. That was the slogans. And when we receive those bangles, we don't care about the brushing our teeth, right? Because it was looking very foolish at that time. And we are having some foolish thoughts like how why the tiger have never brushed his teeth. And hot tea could can be used as the mouth freshener, right? And marriage's gifts are meaningless without sweet bread, known as the ball. Just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread, not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Cakes and bolinhas are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. Thus, the presence of the baker furnace in the village is absolutely essential. And the baker or bread sellers of those days had a peculiar dress known as kabai. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to the knees. In our childhood, we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trousers which were shorter than full length, one once and longer than half pants. Even today, anyone who wears a half pant which reaches just below the knees invites the comment that he is dressed like a patel, right? So marriage gifts are meaningless at the sight of marriage. That sweet bread, uh, whose name which is considered as a ball, it was very important dish, right? And for the party, it was very important. Without it, party was even charmless, right? And not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be. It's a very there is no word to say how the baker was important for the village. The lady who prepares suppers in the house, they need sandwiches for her daughter's engagement. That's why they need breads. cakes and bolinahas are the must for Christmas. That is these are the categories of the breads, right? So you can see at the marriage site, at the ceremony, at the festivals, cakes, how cakes are very important, how breads are important. And the baker of the bread seller of those days, so they also wear a peculiar dress that was considered as kabai, and it was a single piece like a long frock reaching down the knees. In our childhood, we saw the bakers wearing a shirt and the trousers which is shorter than full length, right, and longer than half pants. But up to this time, those who wears half pant and which reaches just below the knees, they receive a comment like it is a padir, right? The baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. Monthly accounts used to be recorded on some wall in pencil. Baking was indeed a profitable profession in the old days. The baker and his family never starved. He, his family, and his servants always looked happy and prosperous. Their plump physique was an open testimony to this. Today, even today, any person with a jackfruit-like physical appearance is easily compared to a baker, right? So the baker delivers the breads up to the month, and up to the and at the end of the month, he received his bill, and how he recorded his bill, how he recorded his accounts. So he recorded the accounts on a wall written through a pencil, right? And it was a very profitable profession in that days, and baker and all his relatives, all his colleagues were never starved, right? And he, his family, his servants always looked happy, and this was a public statement about a character or a quality, right? And their pleasantly fat body was an open testimony to this, right? And when even today, when anyone is found like a jackfruit shape, then it is easily can be considered as a pater, right? So my dear students, that was all about this first part of this lesson. Now we will go on second part of this lesson, that is Coorg, right? So dear students, Coorg is a coffee country famous for its rainforest and spices. It is situated in South India. Let us discuss about it. Midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore sits a piece of heaven that must have drifted from the kingdom of God. This land of rolling hills is inhabited by a proud race of martial men, beautiful women, and wild creatures. Coorg or Kodagu, the smallest district of Karnataka, is the home to evergreen rainforest, spices, and coffee plantations. Evergreen rainforests cover 30% of this district. During the monsoons, it pours enough to keep many visitors away. The seasons of joy commence from September and continue till March. The weather is perfect with some showers thrown in for good measure. The air breathes of invigorating coffee estates, and colonial bungalows stand tucked under the canopies. So, dear students, this was the situation of Coorg, that it is between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore, and it was considered as a piece of heaven because it was so beautiful, right? And it is also considered that this is drifted from the kingdom of God, means from paradise. It is a piece of paradise, and here you can say a martial man having do with war. A number of martial men, number of soldiers were found there. Beautiful women were part of this place, and the wild creatures also. Coorg or Kodagu, this is the very small district of Karnataka, and it is also a home. It is also a place for evergreen rainforest and the spices, and the coffee was very planted there in excessive amount. And evergreen rainforest covers approximately 30% of this district, and during the rainy season approximately a number of visitors were away, means during the rainy season it becomes very dangerous, right? But when September month start and up to September to March, it is a very favorable condition to move there, to have fun there, right? And at that time weather becomes perfect, and some showers thrown in for good measures, and the air breathes invigorating coffee means there was, you can see the fragrance of coffee, you can see you can feel the essence of coffee through air. And coffee estates and the bungalows stand tucked under the tree canopies in prime corners means canopies, you can see that is a tree in the shape of triangles, right? So and sorry canopies, right? So and canopies is also considered as a roof that is in the flat shape, not roof is not like a flat, it will be like in a triangular shape or the prism shape, you can say, right? So the fiercely independent people of Kurg are possibly of Greek or Arabic descent, as one story goes a part of Alexander's army moved south along the coast and settled here when return became impractical. These people married amongst the locals and their culture is apparent in the martial traditions, marriage and religious rites, which are distinct from the Hindus' mainstream. The theory of the Arab origins draws support from long black coat with an embroidered vest belt worn by Kuravus known as kufiya. It resembles the kufiya worn by the Arabs and the Kurds, right? So here the people are independent and they are, it was assumed that this may be Greeks or the Arabic, right? Because one story goes that when Alexanders were moving south along the coast, then and settled here, but when he returned he became impractical, right? And these people married among us the locals, right? And their culture apparent in the martial traditions and their religious rite, which are different from Hindus, a tradition which is most people follow, means from Hindus this was very different, right? And the theory of Arab origins draws the support from the long black coat. When you will consider about the dresses, then definitely you will be very well aware what why these statements are saying so. What was the black colored coat was with an embroidered vest belt worn by the Kodavus, right? And known as kupiya. This embroidered dress was considered as the kupiya, and it also looks like kufiya, and those kufiya was worn by Arabs and Kurds, right? So Kurgi home have a tradition of hospitality. They are more than willing to recount numerous tales of valor related to their sons and fathers. The Kurg regiment is one of the most decorated in the Indian Army, and the first chief of the Indian Army, General Karyappa, was a Kurgi. Even now, the river Kaveri, even now, Kodavus are the only people in India permitted to carry firearms without a license. So, Kurgi home is always considered, is always having a tradition of hospitality, of being a proper serviceman. So, they are more than willing to recount numerous tale of valors. Tale of valors means it's a story of courage and bravery. So if they known as known for their hospitality, then also they are known for their bravery, their usually in war, their courage in a war, right? And the Kurgi regiment is one of the most, having received the maximum number of awards for bravery in war, right? So Kurgi regiment is also is a symbol of beauty for the Indian Army, and the first chief Indian Army, who was General Karyappa, he was also a Kurgi people. Even now these days, Kodavus are the only place in India where Kodavus are the only people in India who is having permit to carry firearms without any license, right? The river Kaveri obtains its water from the hills and forest of Kurg. Mahasir, a large freshwater fish, abound in these waters. Kingfishers dive from their cave for their catch, while squirrels and langurs drop partially eaten fruit for the mischief of enjoying the splash. And the ripple effect in clear water, elephants enjoy being bathed and scrubbed in the river by their mahouts, right? So Kaveri river obtains its most of the waters from hills and the forest of Kurg. And Mahasir, it's a large freshwater fish, abound in these waters because the waters in hillsides are very fresh, right? And kingfishers, always dives for their catch, while the squirrels and the langurs drops. Means this is the here the writer is telling about the beauty of Kurg and its forest also. Elephants enjoy the bath and scrub in their river by their mahows. The most laid back individuals become converts to the life of high energy adventure with river rafting, canoeing, rappelling, rock climbing, and mountain biking. Numerous walking trails in this region are a favorite with trekkers. Right? So here you can see the most of the laid back means relaxed, the most of relaxed that individuals become converts to life high energy adventurous. Adventure like what? Rafting. Adventure like what? Canoeing. Adventure like what? Rappelling. Right? So these are the highly adventurous biking over the mountains, and numerous walking trails in this region are favorable with trekkers. Right? So birds, bees, and butterflies are there to give you company. Macaques, Malabar squirrels, langurs, and slender lories keep a watchful eye from the tree canopy. I do, however, prefer to step aside for wild elephants. The climb to the Brahmagiri hills bring you into a panoramic view of the entire misty landscape of Kurg. A walk across the rope bridges led to the 64 acres island of Nisargdham, running into Buddhist monks from India's largest Tibetan settlement at nearby Bailakupi. Is a bonus. The monks in red, ochre, and yellow robes are among us the many surprises that wait to be discovered by visitors searching for the heart and soul of India right here in Kurg. Right. So now birds, bees, butterflies, there these will accompany you. Macaques, Malabar, and squirrels, langurs, slanders, loris keep, they will always consider you from its canopy. And definitely I do, however, prefer to step aside for wild animals. That means it was very furious to be nearby an elephant, right? The climb to the Brahmagiri hills brings you into a panoramic view. Means it's a view whenever you will reach at the Brahmagiri hills, you will have a view of a wide area of land, and that will be an entire misty landscape of Kurg you can see from there. And when a walk across the rope bridges leads you to 64-acre island of Nisargdham, and running into Buddhist monk from India's largest Tibetan settlement at nearby Bailakupi is a bonus. Means whenever you will go there, Nisargdham, Bailakupi, and Brahmagiri hills, that will add the beauty of Kurg. That will give you more and more adventure. That will be the best part of your life when you will go there. The monks in red, ochre, and yellow robes are among us the many surprises. Right. So those monks were those who will wear the red colors, ochre, and yellow robes. These will add the surprises, and that way to be discovered by visitors searching for heart and soul of India. When you will reach there, you will have a different kind of receptions right here in Kurg. Right. So that was all about the second part, my dear students. After this, our first and second part has been covered, and third part and the poem, that second unit, we will cover in for next video. So my dear students, again and again you will have to see this, and when you will understand all this clearly. And further, agar if you are not being able to understand any kind of word or any kind of means something, if you are not able to understand, then you are free to ask, my dear students. So wait for the time of tomorrow's video after finishing this. Okay, so my dear students, we'll meet there. Up to the time, thank you and have a nice day.